And we're live. Minor Hoops Podcast, show the fresh opinion views on the world's most beautiful game. I'm your host, Greg. I'm here with the homies Brian, TK Leak, and welcome back to Minor Hoops Podcast. This is our 26th episode. Boys, we moving on up.
Yeah, man. Making moves up here.
You
I like where we going.
You ripped that off pretty fast, bro.
Yeah,
I told you
struggled
were
a little
better.
bit.
You were practicing.
A little
he was
bit, you
practicing,
struggled.
wasn't he? He was
I
practicing.
don't think it was a struggle. He said I ripped it off.
No, you ripped it off like your words, little.
Look at you being picky, man.
Picky.
Leave me alone, bro.
I'm giving you an
A.
A. I'll give you an A.
I give you an intro. Give you a B. I give you a solid B.
I don't know what we're doing.
That was awkward. No,
For everybody who's wondering, just go back to the earlier podcast.
The ones where you
Listen
can
on,
listen
like,
to.
Yeah, you got to listen to it
Oh,
on
it
like
won't- yeah, definitely won't
Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from.
Like it wasn't bad. It just I've heard you do better. It was almost like Kawhi Leonard versus Celtics the other night.
Oh
Like
my
it wasn't
God,
your best game, it wasn't your worst game. It was just an okay game.
Ready with the shots.
Okay. For those who don't know, this is All-Star Weekend. So last night, when you were watching this, to give y'all a little time frame, it's Sunday night,
Hey, why don't we?
Saturday, huh?
Why don't we have the game on?
Oh, no, that's Leak's job.
My job.
It's always your job.
You always put the game on.
You're right.
So for those, for the timestamp, for those who need to understand what's happening, Sunday. So tonight's is the All-Star game, 8:00. Saturday was the 3-point contest, the slam dunk contest, skills challenge. Did I miss anything? I think that's it. I think it's all three. And then before that, of course, with the Rising Stars game and the Celebrity game was on Thursday night. So that's, for everyone to make sure they know what's up. Brian, why I told you stop
Well,
raising
they
your
can't
hand.
see. They can't see. Leak's blocking the camera right now. But am I the only person that wonders why we still have the celebrity game?
I think it's
fun.
Fun.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
fun. It's something that I always wish that I could play in.
It's not too late. We'll be there one day. I'm trying.
I don't know. My knees be hurting.
I'm trying to give Quavo 25.
I guess. I mean, I
Why
don't
not?
know.
I give
And
Quavo
block
one.
Ronnie 2K's shot.
Ronnie won't be there by the time we get there. I hope not. If he is, that's gonna be a mess.
We could be there next year. Speak it into existence.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't know. I don't care about this other game. But all right, I'll go. Hey, we down to go. I'm down to go. I'm all about buckets.
I think it's dope. I honestly think it's dope just because it's that first night in.
Mm-hmm.
So all the players really don't have to work. I mean, they just chilling. They get the day to chill for the most part, especially those who aren't participating, like LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis, all of them.
Literally rest.
They're actually chilling. There's no practice.
Festivities are going on. Yeah.
As any NBA All-Star, they will tell you the last thing they get to do on All-Star Weekend is rest. They don't matter what the event is. There's no such thing as rest at All-Star Weekend.
I mean, they're just not on the court in the gym that Thursday.
Facts.
So, I think it's a good look.
I'll rock with y'all.
And we get to see who can hoop.
Yeah, that's.
Sorry to the camera, by the way, fellas.
Yeah, if anybody wondering, we're putting on the All-Star game right now. We were lacking.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
We get to see who can hoop. Like,
Because there's a lot of rappers be dropping these hoop bars in their songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you on the court. And I don't want you to talk about basketball in your songs anymore.
Drake.
Yeah.
I seen that jump shot.
Yo, what was it? It was I can't remember where they were at, but it was like a bunch
pickup?
of celebrities. Yeah, the pickup game.
Nah.
I was watching
That was
thing like
complete trash.
and somebody posted like, "Yo, these guys." I was like, "Nah, these guys couldn't play."
There's
anywhere.
3 rappers I know that can legit hoop.
What are the 3?
I think it's Cole. I think it's G Herbo.
Wale can hoop a little bit.
I haven't seen him.
I know. I'm trying to make
He
sure
can
you
hoop a
include the
little
name
bit.
I'm thinking about.
And I'm going to go 2 Chainz.
All right. Well,
They can hoop a little
Like,
bit.
Two
Chain's
Chainz.
got to be on it.
Like,
other than them,
I've seen Herbo's jump shot. That jump looks clean.
I'm trying to figure out why Quavo gets so much hype as a baller.
1 for 10.
Bruh, I'm trying to figure out why he gets so much hype as a baller because he's not a baller, bro. He's not. I'm sorry.
Bro, because he's part of the hottest boy band in the world.
You just called him a boy band.
Are they not? Isn't that 3 dudes in a group rapping?
They're about to ride on you, bro.
You called them
What are they going to do?
You called them you just put them in the same category as the Jonas Brothers.
But I also put them in the same category as like the Beatles. They're a boy band. They're a band of boys. My bad for using the
Band of boys.
yeah.
Oh wow, you really just called them a boy band.
But yeah,
That's
so like,
interesting.
I do think it kind of exposes some of the guys who can't hoop. Like, Chance the Rapper should not be playing basketball.
Chance is garbage.
He should not be playing
So here's
basketball.
my thing. I don't have a problem with certain people being out there. Like, say, if you're out there literally just to have fun, like,
I mean,
you
yeah.
can't hoop, and you're just out there to just have a good time, okay, that's all fair and good.
But you can tell who's out there.
Yeah, I want-
just
Like,
to do that.
Quavo was trying last night. Like, he was trying.
True.
And it was like, yo, dude, this ain't it.
True.
But I mean, it depends.
But
like,
there's certain ways, like there's certain bad people I don't mind watching, like Spice Adams.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's funny.
that's
That's
his
a
whole
joke.
thing,
It's
yeah.
exactly. Once again, it's funny. It's a joke. It's for fun.
But then,
like,
But Chance
it's
the
cringy
Rapper-
watching Chance
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
basketball. Though.
I mean, he plays basketball how he raps. So
whoa.
that just takes the cake.
No, he gave his ass to rap. We not. This
Whoa.
is not a music.
How
pod.
long
As a
ago
rap
was
and
that?
color a book.
This is
How
not a
long
mu- this
ago
is
was
not a
that?
music
As a rap and
pod.
color a book.
It's
like,
not a
forever.
music pod, but we are not about to do that.
Whoa.
All right.
I can't
Like,
disrespect his last project because it was
You didn't
trash.
disrespect the last project. You
We
disrespected
all,
him.
we all can agree on this
Oh,
last
this
project.
isn't a music pod, Greg. Shut up and dribble, Greg.
Here we go. All right.
Ooh, gotcha.
Well, what you want to say about it then, Lee?
I
What
don't-
do you want to say
I just
about
wanted to
Chance's
intervene.
last album?
I didn't have anything to say. I just wanted to intervene.
I already said what I had to say about his last album, and none of y'all can look me in my face and disagree.
All right. Let's
Moving on.
Let's get to it. So, last night was the like I said, skills challenge, 3-point contest, dunk contest. Of course, everyone's been talking about Aaron Gordon being snubbed for the third year.
Again.
I think the word they were using was robbed. Actually, not for the third year again. The second time he did it, he didn't deserve to win that joint. But he was actually doing it when
the
he was
one
hurt.
versus Zach
When the
Levine.
drum-
He won that. I don't care.
The one versus Zach
He won
Levine.
the Zach Levine.
I can't.
No,
I can't.
He won
Zach
that.
Levine won that.
Bro,
No,
he
Gordon
East
won
made from a foot after the free throw line.
I'm giving Gordon that one. I'm sorry.
I don't care what you
Creativity,
say. I don't care.
everything in between. Like Gordon won that.
Creativity. Did he East made
I
from the
give
free
him-
throw line?
Zach Levine's the second in appearance, right?
Yep.
We live, boys. So yeah, Zach Levine was the second one. I see he won the first one. I can't remember who that was against. But the second one, Zach Levine won for sure. This one, I also think is a toss up.
Yeah, because I like
DJ
rewatched him.
really did his thing.
He was going bananas.
like,
East Bay and everywhere. Everything's an East Bay.
that's an easy way to get a
you just
50.
East Band.
You can get a 50.
But remember, like, and what was it like? Kobe had won a dunk contest with just a regular East Bay.
Yeah, and that was like
That
one
was
of the
20
first
years ago,
times,
23
though.
years ago, something like
I
that.
want to say that was in the 90s.
That was like 97.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
97.
Something like that.
That was his rookie year.
Now, you just do a regular East Bay. You're not even getting a 50. You got to jump over
definitely
somebody in
getting-
East Bay. You
definitely
got
getting a
360 in East
You
Bay.
could still get a 45 with an East Bay, a regular East
Nah,
Bay.
A regular
basic
one?
East Bay.
It's high school kids doing it in games.
I promise. The right guy did the East Bay.
No.
I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot about performance. About
If
like,
you're gonna do a regular East Bay, you better be doing it catching it off of somebody's head or something like that. Like,
You better do it with like a literal backpack on you, full of bricks.
ooh, I'd love to see somebody actually do that next year in the dunk contest.
put on a
Backpack.
weight vest or something.
East Bay with a backpack full of bricks.
So just a weight vest.
Nah.
but it
no,
Backpack full of
no, it
bricks.
got to be a weight
Way
vest.
cooler.
You know, it got to be a backpack filled with bricks.
I'm sure there's an endorsement deal behind that.
Let's call up Aaron Gordon. Let's see if he's trying to come back.
Yeah.
But
He
in my
said he's
opinion-
not. He
done.
said
Yeah,
he's
said
I was
he's
about to say,
done.
to get to his interview, he did say he was done with it. I think, man, like, I'm just not a fan of ties at all. Like, I'm a huge, like, I
They
hate
should just
ties.
had a dunk off, man.
They did.
But you eventually get tired.
banged
You know what I
out.
mean?
Maybe. I don't know how I feel about that term.
I don't like it.
But I mean,
It
yeah.
makes sense. But, like, nah, in my opinion, I think I would have given it to Aaron Gordon last night.
I looked at DJ's dunks. I'm like,
They were
It's
ridiculous. I'm not
understandable.
mad that he won.
It's
I'm not mad.
understandable.
I'm not mad that he won.
so I don't know.
I think it should have went one more round, but I'm just a greedy fan, so.
True fact. But I do appreciate how exciting that was. Like the energy was in the building, pretty much from start to beginning. From start to end, it was pretty much hype was really really good, and the performances were well. Like no one really tanked in the dunk contest.
Yeah, I mean, I remember there was a stretch for like 5 years.
I want to say it was like
awful.
05 to
And
like.
yeah, that's why I'm not really talking on last night because during that stretch where it got bad, I haven't really watched
It was
dunk
awful.
contests. Like, I didn't even watch one yesterday.
The Levine Gordon one is what brought it back. That was the first really good one.
That's true.
Wait, okay.
That's what brought, like,
How
the-
soon? How far back was the?
It was 2016.
Oh, 2016.
Yeah.
So y'all didn't like the
looking at it right now.
Dwight Howard versus
Nate Robinson one. It was cute, but it wasn't
Yeah.
great dunks.
Okay.
It was a good atmosphere.
Okay.
They brought like Nate Robinson and Dwight Howard are both showmen, so they
Very
definitely
great
brought that.
show.
Yeah.
So they brought that aspect, but as far as like the actual dunks,
yeah.
it wasn't super
Like
impressive.
Dwight won one when he just put on a Superman cape and all he did was just dunk it.
I don't know higher who.
I mean, you're 6'10". Like once again, it's impressive, but at the same time, it's like visually, it's just like
I want to see
not
somebody
that
jump over
impressive.
somebody in East Bay or East Bay from the free throw line. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I feel you.
East Bay while you windmill. East Bay while you windmill, then put your arm in the rim.
The honey dip windmill East Bay combo. Nah,
So-
that's what we want to see though.
Yeah. So yeah, I do appreciate the energy. I do appreciate how well everyone did. Like Pat Connaughton did well. Of course, DJ pulled out the win. Aaron Gordon did well. People saying he got robbed. Who am I missing?
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
He was the forgettable person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's always harder for like big men in slam dunk contests because like even like they're high off the ground or whatever, like they're above the rim,
Yeah.
but it looks different than
Yeah.
when a smaller guy does it. Like the way they're able to spread their legs, the way you can see the difference of how high they actually got off of the ground. It just looks better to watch smaller players dunk.
yeah, more agile players.
Yeah.
I personally don't mind stars not being in dunk contests. I know we've had the Jordans, we've had the Kobes, we've had the Vince Carters, Dr. J's. We've had those guys compete in the dunk contest. I'm not opposed to not seeing them in there if, the second tier players continue to play like this or dunk like this. I know a lot of people feel opposite of that. What do y'all think?
I think it's fine. I think it's like you said, as long as you still have people who are capable. And I think
the
we went through.
quality's there.
Yeah, I think we went through a phase within basketball where we didn't have those second tier players making those kind of plays,
Right.
even in the dunk contest. So you want to see the stars because they're stars because they were the ones making those plays in game, outside of games, et cetera, et cetera. Now you have this abundance of athleticism and talent, even on a level 2,
Yeah.
where you can have LeBron not ever do a dunk contest, which I would love to see him in, but still. Or like you can have a dunk contest that didn't feature Zion Williamson this year.
That's where I was going. Like, everybody's saying like, oh, we would love to see Zion, and of course the money would be there for the league, of course. But as an actual hoop fan, I don't think I need him.
I didn't
to be
need
in
him.
it.
I would have wanted to see Zion.
I
I'll just keep it stacked.
would want to see him. I'd want to see, I think, several guys in the past that never just decided to do it. I think the stigma of dudes being too cool for it is just going to continue, unfortunately.
But I don't think it's going to do that if the dunk contests are continuously going to be like this, where it seems like it mattered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at first it was just like, this is just warm-up day for the All-Star game. Like we don't really care about this event so much. And because it was bad
Right.
for,
Right.
I don't know, a decade or something. It was just really bad
At
to
least
watch.
5 years.
At least 5.
I mean, like I said, when you got guys like Derek, I don't care what nobody say, Derek Jones, Aaron Gordon, like those are two guys who, Zach LaVine goes in this category as well. Those are guys who like legitimately could be professional dunkers. Like they have that type of bounce, they have that type of spring, athleticism. Like for as great and as talented as the athlete as LeBron James is, probably the best athlete to pick up a basketball that we've seen in the NBA in terms of overall physicality, speed, power. He's an in-game type dunker. Like that's what he's always been. So like I said, I've never really been mad at him for not doing dunk contest. Would it have been great to see? Absolutely. Zion Williamson, like, he's a dunker. Like, at the end of the day, that's how he's made his name. That's what made his fame. YouTube made him go viral, everything. So I want to see him in a dunk contest. Like, he had a mini dunk contest in the rookie-sophomore game, or the Rising Stars game, as it's called now. Like, they literally, for the last minute of the game, just kept giving him the ball, clearing out, and letting him put on a dunk show.
There were 2 misses.
They were 2 misses,
New
but...
Orleans was not feeling that. New Orleans medical staff was definitely not.
And that's fair. I mean, I can't knock them for that. But, like, if we're going to let them put on a dunk contest in the Rising Stars game, granted 2 misses after playing a whole game, playing the night before. Let's get in the dunk contest, man. Like, what we waiting on?
For next year.
I hope so. I would love to see it. Like, I would have loved to seen Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, Zion Williamson this year, and Derrick Jones. Like, that would have been amazing, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I'm dunk contest solid, 3-point contest winner.
Great.
I thought it was better.
I think it's been better the last couple of years.
I thought it was better this year than the dunk contest personally.
How y'all feel about them adding like the 4-point shot?
Loved it.
As long as it doesn't come to the actual game.
Yeah, there would be no 4-point spots in the NBA.
I mean, at one point in time, people were like,
All they gotta do is start experimenting in the G League, and next thing you know,
just put it in the G League. Next thing, 3 years later, it's in the league.
people were probably saying that about the 3-point line back in the day.
I mean, yeah, they call the 3-point line a gimmick forever. So
I don't think it's necessary. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see where we're going. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I like the ability to kind of showcase the range. So
Trae Young didn't look good at all.
I didn't expect him to.
You could tell he's definitely used to pulling up off the dribble.
Right. He has the ball in his hands for the entire shot clock and shooting, not catching and shoot. One day he'll have a teammate that could pass him the ball.
Yeah.
Right now,
Like, people really don't understand how hard the 3-point contest is. If you've ever actually been in one where you got to pick the ball up off the rag, it is such an unnatural motion for a basketball player.
You have to practice that.
You have to. Like, I did it. I did it a couple times when I was in high school. Like I said, I went to tournaments and stuff, and I competed. And it was like such a different motion. It's just like your body really doesn't know how to react.
Because normally you
You're
catch it
taking
and
it
you're
from
going
your
straight
side
into
onto
it.
it.
You're straight
Yeah.
into it, but now you're like
It's
here,
such a weird
here,
motion.
up. It's like
So I
it's
definitely applaud
something.
those guys who like go out there and just like Devin Booker, Buddy Hield was just ripping it, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Booker with the late game, or the late call in after Dame.
I had called it
injury.
as soon as I saw Dame got hurt. I was like,
I
Devin
think
Booker. And then
everybody
Dame
kinda
actually
expected.
said, like, I hope somebody like Devin Booker gets in.
I like that. Yeah, I like that Dame was vouching for Dev to get in.
He's a real one. He's a real one.
Definitely stamping him. 'Cause, I mean, Dame knows how it feels to be snubbed.
Facts, big facts. So, shout out to D Book. He put on the show. Buddy Hield, of course, was the winner.
Came down to the last
We got
shot.
a segue in the homeboy.
You got to find a way. And right now, we're going to get into a little deeper topic. Buddy Hield has some, I guess, unsettled energy towards the coaching staff, Luke Walton, because he's not really happy with his role. He believes he should be starting. Can't blame him. He's getting paid like a starter. I don't think he's underplaying or playing poorly. Luke Walton said there's really no punishment to it. He just believes he should come off the bench. And he said if it continues and the team continues to struggle on the path that they are, because right now the whole Sacramento organization is going to do some things with the owner and everything, he might look to ask for a trade this offseason. What do y'all say to that?
I mean, it makes sense. I think he's talented. I think he just wants more playing time. He wants to be a starter.
He's playing more minutes than he did last year.
Yeah, but he wants to play more.
He's playing more minutes than he did last year.
Yes. He's playing 34 minutes this year. He played 31 last year.
And some guys just want that title of being a starter.
So, like, it's his problem, the minutes, or the problem that he feels entitled to start?
It could be a combination.
I think he should.
I think it's
in
more than
reference
entitlement,
to the
though.
Kings, he deserves to be a starter, at
Keep-
least on that team.
Keep in mind, him and Bogdanovich have both played way better in their new roles.
I think it's more so he's just beefing with Luke, and I think anything Luke could do is gonna upset him. I think he wants to be out of Sacramento. They were already beefing around the time for him to get paid.
Yeah.
anyway.
He had to jump through a loop just to get his bread.
He had to jump through a loop to not get as much bread as Jaylen Brown.
I mean, I'd say Jaylen Brown's probably the better player. But,
Mind you, we didn't expect this Jaylen Brown to be here this year.
I mean, I've always thought Jaylen was probably had more potential.
I thought he
was
did
a
too.
better player. Like, he's a better defender. I think he's probably a better pure scorer. Like, Buddy's a shooter. Like, and he's a phenomenal one at that. Like, can't take that away from him. But the rest of his game
Now
does leave lacking.
Jaylen definitely has a way higher ceiling.
So, I don't know. I get where Buddy's coming from. Nobody likes to be benched, especially after you got your bread.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you deserve to start. On the same token, it's like, not everybody has to start. Like, why can't you come off the bench and still average 20? Like, to me, it's never mattered about whether I'm starting or not. Maybe I just have a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Are you contributing to winning? Like, if you do your job, Jamal Crawford, however you want to put it, Lou Will, like, if you're going to be that guy, come off the bench and get 25 every night.
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
Wonder where they could send him to.
I don't know. I
That's
think
a
it's
good
too soon.
question.
It's too soon to think about, since a lot is going to have to change going into free agency and all that kind of stuff.
Hey.
But yeah, so I'm not necessarily sure. But I do know what Leak said. The issue with Luke Walton has been an issue for quite some time. I think even before the season started a little bit, but it kind of hit its peak definitely at that. I think that overtime loss when he didn't play in the whole fourth and overtime.
He came out. They're starting lineup from there. And
Yeah,
then,
so they haven't been right. They haven't been on the same page since then.
True.
But what's new in the Kings organization? The entire organization is not on the same page.
Very true.
Like I mentioned, the owner, I want to say Vivek Radnanovich. If I'm getting it wrong, please forgive me. But he's having issues with the entire organization. Apparently, last week, he, in a group text with all the execs, went off.
Who did?
On the owner for the Kings.
Oh.
He went off on Vlade. He went off on Pager. He went off on everybody. Pretty much saying y'all need to get it together. And this is nothing new for the Sacramento Kings. But I believe there should be some patience involved, personally.
I feel like this year.
Patience.
It
When was
gotta
last
be,
time they
bro.
made the playoffs?
It gotta be
but
when you
here's
got
the
a young
thing,
squad.
Like, so if you,
Like 04?
but if you walked into the season, like we all, like I said, a lot of us had the Kings like
This
fringe
definitely,
playoff
the injuries
contenders.
derailed it all the way.
So that's my point. Like, at some point, it has to be a little bit of patience. Like, if you walk into the season, I told you, yo, De'Aaron Fox is gonna miss your first 20 games.
Yep.
Marvin Bagley is gonna not be. He's gonna be in and out of the lineup all season.
Facts.
Like, if I told you these things, you'd probably be like, yeah, we're not making the playoffs. Like, we're already a young team to begin
I
with.
think they're just tired of not being competitive for an 8.
All I know is, man, there has to be some type of context, and I think that
To constantly
This is your-
being a lottery team.
this is your first year coach. You have a young squad, and then your young stars get hurt.
You know how many
What do
times-
you
how many
want
years
from me,
we've
bro?
said that exact thing about Sacramento.
True.
That exact thing. Every
really.
young team with a young coach.
Every
and a
year
young
since
squad
like
and a draft
2005.
I mean, okay, what did Dave Yeager look at his first season?
His first season.
Dave Yeager with the Sacramento Kings. What was his first season?
2017,
Yeah.
I believe. No, 2016.
It was 16, 17, not 15,
Yeah, 16,
16.
17.
Yeah.
And he had DeMarcus Cousins. And let's be honest, this was a bad roster. Like, they haven't had, like, this whole idea of them being a young team thing, like, it's really not true. You had DeMarcus Cousins. He was, like, the only legitimate player on that team for a minute. You had Rudy Gay, who has never really contributed to a winning culture. And, like, who else? Darren Collison, a young Buddy Hield, 18 years old, or 20 years old, I'm sorry. I mean, this team has never really been that good until the last couple of years.
Yeah, this is definitely the best
So-
team. They've always had bad teams.
So my point is, like, last year we saw them take a step forward. Finally, Dave Yeager was a coach. De'Aaron Fox
Then
took a step forward.
They got rid of him. That's where they went wrong.
And I agree. Like, I don't think he deserved to be fired for whatever reason. They went that way. I don't think Luke Walton should be faulted for any of this in all reality. Like, he's been put into a bad situation in a bad organization with a bad owner, bad GM, and a team that's been rattled by injuries. I can't tell if it's his coaching or anything else at this point. Like, I feel like if you put a lot of coaches in this situation, they would struggle as well.
True. I'll give him. I can say that. But all I know is he ain't happy.
Nah.
Mr. Vivek ain't happy, and somebody's gonna get the scissors. Something.
Should be Vlade. Why is Vlade a GM?
I don't know.
This man passed on Luka Doncic.
He's Vlade. That's
yeah,
why.
right off of beef, like just
With his dad, like-
beef. Like, come on, man.
And I'm sorry, you passed on Luka and Trey. Like, I know you already had De'Aaron, so I get passing on Trey. But, like, you
You can
passed
flip
on
one.
Luka. Huh?
You can always flip one.
Hey, man.
Speaking of flip, teams like the Kings that are so bad, why continuously give them high lottery picks every year? Flip the lotto.
So they never
don't
get
deserve
good.
anymore.
This
How
man did a
many have they
callback to
had?
which episode?
How many?
That's
have
like
they had?
episode. Nah, that's
20?
before
20?
22.
I'm about to look it
That's
up.
like 17.
Flip the lotto.
So that way they're never good. Ever.
Flip the, hey, you know why? You know why you flip the lotto?
Tell 'em,
Because
Lee.
you want to know something. a team like New Orleans that might not make the playoffs, but they're going to be fighting, they have a chance to get another number one pick. How deadly is that?
I mean,
But we're going to give it to like the Kings though, right? We're going to give them another top 3 pick, right? Right? Because they're just going to they're going to make the most of that pick.
Well, currently,
Anthony Edwards is just going to develop so well in Sacramento. Why not put him next to Zion?
How do you know he won't? You put him next to De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley. I think that'd be very fun to watch.
Yeah, but then Luke Walton messed it up. Somebody in Sacramento
know
is
Luke
going to
Walton
mess that up.
It's gonna be Vlade.
There's a filtering system to the product that gets put on the floor in Sacramento. It's going to go wrong somewhere in between.
It might go wrong before the pick. Vlade don't even
Episode
draft.
six.
Yeah, why did
Yeah.
he just not draft him?
Episode
He
six.
doesn't even go for LaMelo. He doesn't go for James. He just picks some random.
Yeah.
He just takes a chance.
So, I mean.
That's how you end
he
up with
drafted-
Anthony Bennett as number one
Somebody in
pick.
Sacramento drafted Jimmer over Clay.
Hey,
Like,
Hey, who
like,
did that?
Somebody in Sacramento was like, yep.
I gotta go back.
Yep,
What draft
there
was
it
that?
Hey,
is.
find that guy.
I'm pretty sure.
If that's Vlade, then yes, he should be fired.
What draft was that?
That was 11, I think.
I was about to say 12.
I think
I was
it
about to say
2011.
2012.
I'm looking at it now.
Somebody
11.
said Jimmer.
Somebody
over Clay.
find that, bro.
Yep.
That was Vlade?
Well, Jimmer was technically drafted by Milwaukee.
Trey-
Sacramento drafted Bismack Biyombo.
Over Clay.
Over Kimba and Clay and Kawhi Leonard.
Yo.
But the Kawhi Leonard one is a little bit more understandable.
Okay,
Nobody
that's why
thought
I was
he'd be
like, I'm
this.
not even going to hold it over their head for that one.
Who else got drafted
But
out there?
Clay.
So,
Nah,
the one I
dog.
fought you for is
Nah,
Kimba.
dog.
The one I fought you for is
Clay.
Kimba. Nobody thought Clay would be what he is now. Let's keep it a sack.
But
That's
we
true.
knew the
That's
Jimmer for that was just like not.
Hey,
gonna
not
translate.
everybody knew that. Some people were like, yo, Jimmer might be a bucket. He might not. It was a fool's gold opportunity. Some
was.
people went with it.
It was.
Now,
Would
He
you have
was-
one with it?
My man was
Would you
shooting
have
from
one
the
with it?
parking
no,
lot
I
all
wouldn't have
season.
drafted Jimmer. I'd have drafted somebody else. I can't say for sure it would have been Clay, but I would have drafted somebody else.
I mean, they still passed on who?
Yeah,
Kimba?
like Kimba.
Kimba.
Kimba's
Like,
the
Kimba
one.
would've been my guy.
Kimba's the one.
Kimber was no brainer.
But Kimba went before Jimmer.
Okay.
Kimba went one pick before Jimmer.
Oh, okay.
We can pull up.
Yeah,
a
the Morris
multitude
twins in that draft.
They can pull up a multitude.
Tobias
of
Harris.
other
Jimmy
picks.
Butler went last in that first round. Wow.
It's crazy.
A lot of those picks were better later.
I don't
But
know.
I mean, I would
Maybe
like,
someone went to like organizations that actually develop young talent.
Yeah, the Kings don't need it, bro. They don't need another high pick.
I mean, I think they have plenty of talent on their roster. I think they just had a bad start to the year. Guys came in hurt. New coach who was already kind of in a bad spot because they got rid of a coach they already liked.
Yep.
I think it's just a bad situation. This organization has shown they don't know how to stick to a course, and that's been their biggest issue.
Yeah.
They can't stick to a plan.
All I heard was the Kings are a bad
Yeah,
organization.
that's all I.
I mean, I agree with that.
All right.
But you can't take away their draft picks
And-
because of it.
Nah, I'm not saying you take it away. You just give them still lottery, just lower. Like,
You're not
So
going
at that point,
second
you might as
now.
well
You're
get rid
going
of the
12.
franchise.
but you just said they had a good team, got off to some bad injuries. Okay,
agree.
if that's the case, you still get a lottery. It's gonna
But-
be lower. Come back with the roster
But
you
New
have
Orleans
this year
has
that's
New Orleans has a
supposedly good.
fabulous roster, but you want to give them a number one pick, like
Because they're competing, bro. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
trying to
they
reward.
technically still wouldn't get that top.
Yeah, it'll go
pick.
to the Warriors.
Nah,
talking
if you
about
flip the
records.
lottery,
If you flip the
flip
lottery,
the
lottery,
they
flip the lottery,
they still
yeah.
wouldn't get that top pick.
Huh?
They're
They be
still
right
they're,
there.
they're in the middle of the pack.
who?
They're,
no, New Orleans be right there.
Yeah.
not
If-
saying
if-
they
if
would
they're
have
11,
like
if
a
they're
shot.
talking about
They'll have a
flipping
top.
the
They'll have like
lottery,
a top 4 pick, a top
they
3,
would
top
get a
4.
top 4.
It'll be top
three
4?
pick.
Yeah,
Like
that's the whole point.
well, no, yeah, if you flip the lottery,
If you
so
flip the lottery,
it'd
so
be
like,
them, Washington, Portland, and like Chicago and Detroit all fighting for that pick. They all be in top. They all be essentially top 5 territory. If you flip the lotto, technically, because right now you're 9 seeds of Washington, Portland, then it's San Antonio, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans.
yeah. They're right. They're right there in the mix for it. They have a shot at a number 1 draft pick. But mind you, you're rewarding a young team, not knowing where they were going, but like in the meantime, we're gonna play hard.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm with
Play
you.
hard, nah.
So
Dysfunctional Kings?
Sacramento's not
Yeah.
playing hard. Like I don't know.
I mean, I think it's the idea more so of the teams like the Cavs. You know what I mean? Remember that they had like 3 number 1s in like 4 years or something like that.
Why,
But,
like,
why
they
there
didn't-
was a depth sentence
Okay,
to
so,
the,
but
to
here-
the number 1 draft pick. Like, hey, congrats on going to the league. Go to
But
a
if
bad
Cleveland
place.
doesn't get those picks, they never get a championship. Like that's essentially what you're arguing for right now. You're taking a championship away from Cleveland. You're saying
bro,
if you
there's
don't
a
get
lot
these
of
picks,
teams
you're
Y'all
not
don't like
getting it.
Cleveland already.
I mean, just because I don't like Cleveland doesn't mean I don't want it to be fair. I want to bash on them fairly. I want them to have all the opportunities to be good and still fail. That makes me feel good.
So you want them to do everything they could possibly do
to try and still,
but they don't try. That's the problem.
They do try.
They are trying.
You won a title. You tried.
LeBron won a title.
But you only got LeBron because you got number one picks. You got Kyrie. You got Andrew Wiggins, who you flipped for Kevin Love. All that came off the idea. I'm sorry, LeBron James was not going back to Cleveland if they didn't get those number one picks.
You know how you get number one picks, right? In the flip the lotto system, you compete, you try as hard as you can. Maybe you get a little closer to the playoffs.
If y'all want to hear about flip the lotto, go
to episode 16.
Episode 16.
Flip the lotto, man. I'm gonna always yell it. Flip the lotto.
Go ahead, sing Shaka Khan. Okay.
You good?
This is a long intro.
It's always a long intro for the All-Star game.
But just moving on. Hall of Fame finalists. Of course, our headliners read Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Tamika Catchings,
Bucket,
Kim Mulkey, Eddie Sutton, Barbara Stevens, and Rudy Tomjanovich.
Rudy.
So shout out to all of our Hall of Fame finalists, but of course we cannot go past the four that were named to start: Kobe, Tamika Catchings, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. Those are childhood players, and
I mean that's us.
That's us. That might be the greatest Final Four.
You think about that when you think about basketball of our years.
Yeah,
that is our generation right there.
Tim Duncan. I'm sorry, he's
greatest
the best
power forward ever.
Anybody who wants to argue this, they're not going to win this. Tim Duncan is easily the best power forward of all time.
I say KG is the most talented, but yeah,
Tim
Duncan's the best.
I'm sorry. I can't.
I don't. Who argue against that?
He hasn't had a season worse than 50 wins.
That's true.
I'm
not arguing his talent as being potentially the top power forward. I'm saying I've considered him more of a center than a power forward.
Who?
Tim Duncan.
Why?
Because he spent most of his career at center than power forward.
I can see
the only time he was at power forward was with David Robinson.
Nah, but
he had that stint with Nesterovic.
They were playing
with him.
They were playing him
Tiago.
with Alberto.
Yep.
They were playing with Tiago. They were
when
playing
it mattered, he was at center.
Nazi Muhammad. Pop always had another big next to him. The only time you could call him the five is if Robert Horry was on the floor.
When it mattered, Tim Duncan was a center, not a power forward.
In play,
let's not be picky.
Yeah, that's just a way where he doesn't
I'm not
have to
knocking
say
his talent. Like I said,
Tim Duncan's
if you want to
power
classify him as a power forward, then yeah, he's the best.
If I'm putting him in a center class,
he's top three.
That's what I'm saying. I still think he's top three.
Once again, I'm not arguing his talent. I'm not arguing his impact. He's easily one of the top 20 players of all time, easily. And where you want to put him, that's a real big debate. But he's one of the greatest players of all time, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think he's the top 5 big of all time. Definitely the best power forward of all time. And he just doesn't get enough love because he's such a quiet dude.
So just going off Basketball Reference, his last 7 years of his career, he spent almost 100% of his time as a center.
Put the stats away.
How many years? He said 7 years, right?
The last 7. Then everything before that, it was
how many years did he play in the league?
He played 20.
So
but
way more than half.
So my point
was before that
it was a split.
Yeah,
it's
split in
60-30,
time,
50-40.
And
all I'm saying
is when did Tim start to somewhat take the decline?
I would say probably around
those last 3
round
16.
10. I would say when you really started to notice
they made the finals in 12 and 13. So I'd say definitely after, and then they won in 14.
I mean, when you start talking about noticing his game taking a step back, I would say probably around 2010, 2011. That's when he stopped being a 20-point scorer.
Last 6 years, man.
Was he taking a step back, or was Tony Parker
guys
taking
were
a step
definitely
up?
stepping up.
I don't. I mean, it's almost that Kareem Magic thing. Kareem is still great, but you notice he can't do it every night. So you say Magic, you're the guy now. But Kareem will still get us this.
I don't know if I can put it to that same thing at that time span, because I honestly believe Tony Parker was just going at that point.
I mean, Tony, man, like they put a really good team around him. Like I said, I think it let him age very gracefully. Like it's always that question of, like I said, with an aging superstar, you want to figure out how to maximize his last couple great years, but you can't put too much on him because they may not be able to handle it. Like Tim Duncan probably couldn't be the undisputed number one option at age 33, 34, 35, 36. Like physically, mentally, it probably would have wore him down. So, like I said, that's why I say you start noticing the decline maybe just a little bit when you physically can't do it like you used to at 20, 22, so on and so forth. That's my only thing. Was he still great? Yeah, absolutely. And he was still probably one of the best defensive big men in the league.
Yeah, sure. He's a power forward. I don't need you telling me.
Yeah.
I don't need you looking nothing up.
Yeah. Put the stats away.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
They can lie too.
I don't care if they lie. They just don't matter as much. They just don't.
So yeah, shout out to Tim Duncan, another guy who does not get the praise he deserves.
Because he was boring.
Because he was boring, man.
I think we all love him and we respect him as a hooper. I don't think he gets disrespected. His name just isn't shouted loudly because that wasn't his personality.
I think he came in at a time where there were just guys that were just cooler than him.
Yeah.
He's not Tim Duncan. You're cool to me, but you're just not a cool dude to the masses. Like I can understand, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would want to hang out with Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also that like he never really had a season where he was like he put up like astronomical numbers. Like he was just a steady, consistent 20 and 10. Always 20 and 10.
Big fundamental.
20 and 10. 20 and 10. He never had a season where he was like 30 and 15 like Shaq or KG had.
Right.
Like he never had that type of season. It was just an always consistent production. You knew what you were getting night in, night out. And you got to respect anybody that does that.
Facts. Like we mentioned before, Kevin Garnett also inducted this year. Not finals MVP. One-time MVP, I believe. Champion with the Boston Celtics, of course.
They'll never let you forget it.
No, they won't. No, they won't. But if anybody's gonna say don't forget it, I would rather be Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
There's not another person on that
worked
team.
for that.
I want to hear
worked for that.
Okay,
Paul Pierce.
Ray gets love. I take that back.
He was the original Celtic.
Well, you have a bias against Paul Pierce. So
actually
He has the
hate
finals
Paul
MVP.
Pierce, bro.
Really?
I actually hate Paul Pierce.
Greg has a legitimate
I do
bias
not
against
like
Paul
him.
He has
Pierce.
a finals MVP.
So, don't mean you're good.
Don't mean you're a good player. What?
I was about to say
What
my
world
bias.
are we living in?
Whoa,
My
it came out
bias
like
right
Where you
now.
that.
can't get in the club. Hey, what do you got? Finals MVP? Nah.
You're Paul Pierce, bro. No, like I don't like him. I don't like him. Not
That's
a fan
tough,
of him.
Greg.
I'm a fan of everybody else.
Dang, that's tough.
Like everyone knows.
That's tough, man.
James
Finals
Posey,
MVP means nothing to you.
cool dude.
Went toe to toe with Kobe.
Rajon Rondo,
LeBron.
love him. I ain't gonna say he went toe to toe.
He went toe to toe.
Nah, he went toe to toe with Bron and Kobe.
Yeah.
In
Like
playoffs.
he went
played-
toe to toe.
He was
played.
hooping.
He played.
And they killed the Pistons,
He was in the
Yeah.
game.
who was killing a lot
Did
of
you just say he
dudes
was just in the
East.
game, Greg? Did you just say that? Come on, cuz.
Finals MVP.
Come-
He
he's
was
like-
just out
he's
there
just in the
walking
game.
around.
He's just in. Come on, Greg.
I'm sorry, I just don't like him.
Greg, we're
I just
all
don't
about
like
to team up on you like we team on league. Like, come
I
on,
just
bro.
don't like him. I don't like him. I'm not a fan of his. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he talks. I
You
don't.
know that video on Twitter? He's like, his style,
Whack.
hair,
Whack.
way he dress, whack.
The way he doesn't smile in his pictures, whack.
The way he stands in the triple threat,
Oh,
whack.
man, I can't, bro.
His style of play is whack, bro. I'm done.
He's a sloppier version of Kawhi.
Kevin Garnett, man. Kevin Garnett. Shout out to Kevin Garnett.
Wait, who? Who's the sloppy version?
Said Paul Pierce is just a sloppier version of Kawhi.
No.
Yeah, go watch Paul Pierce film. Like their moves are very similar.
You done offended him now.
I know.
Different bags. Different bags.
Yeah, hate on Paul Pierce. Come on,
Not
do it.
really.
Oh no, like I hate Paul Pierce.
Like, Paul
but that's
Pierce is
because
a
I'm Laker
mid-range.
fan.
Paul Pierce was a
I don't
mid-range
need another reason.
master. Like he just looked sloppy because his body wasn't cut.
Oh man. Yeah, Kevin Garnett, man. Shout out Kevin Garnett. Shout out Kevin.
Shout out
Tamika Catchings, one of the greatest WNBA players.
Of course.
To lace them up.
She could train my kids.
Facts.
Big time. Boys and girls, bro. I think her style of play, very, very smooth. True killer on the court. I got nothing bad to say about her and her career. So shout out to her as well. And then of course, the early induction of Kobe Bryant.
I don't think it's early.
I think he was
No,
on
he
time.
was
Yeah,
on.
this was his class.
This was his class?
He was getting inducted this
Oh,
year.
was the
Everybody
first
knew
year.
it.
Early.
No,
Nah.
this
It
was
a
it.
year early.
Nah.
Everybody knew this was it.
Oh, that hits harder.
Yeah.
Like that's what everybody was like. Really, that's when, like I said. I talked about it on the Kobe podcast. I'm like, yo, like the biggest thing that upset me was like he wasn't gonna see his Hall of Fame induction. He was like right close to it.
Dang,
He
I
wasn't
thought
gonna get
we
to
was the
experience
year
it.
early. So
Nah.
man, oh man. But of course, can't forget about Mamba. Of course, everything he meant to the game, everything he meant to Hoopers today. Of course, if you're watching the All-Star game, or if you watch the All-Star game, because you'll see this after. The teams are recognizing both Kobe and Gianna, rocking the 24 and the 2. So much respect to them.
And they renamed the All-Star trophy, All-Star MVP trophy.
True fact.
So I can go with that.
So yeah, and I think that's solid. Yeah.
I mean, he's tied for the most All-Star MVP, so it makes sense.
So I can go with that. If we're not changing the logo, doing anything else, like I can go with this.
Who's getting the Kobe Bryant MVP award?
The first
tonight?
one.
I
Bron.
don't care.
The first.
It's gonna be
one?
Bron or Giannis.
I don't care.
Oh man, let's see.
Dunkman, who you say?
Russell
Joel?
Westbrook.
You just point out a lot of people,
pointing
Keith.
at
You're just pointing.
I was waiting for you to.
Yeah.
Who do you think is getting the MVP trophy tonight, Keith? That's
Like
what we're
if
asking.
Dame was playing, my money be on him, but he's not. So
yeah.
Dame not
Dame
playing,
got
yeah, I
hurt.
said if Dame was playing,
I'm
my money would have been on him. But other than that, I don't really care.
I'm gonna
Let's trade a
I'm
gang,
gonna
bro.
go with AD. It's his hometown.
Yeah, Kawhi.
He doing that?
Kawhi hits a triple,
Hey.
and we all just switch.
LeBron with the assist though,
But
on
I
our way
told
to a
y'all
triple double.
they're gonna play a little harder. But this isn't the live stream pod though.
They got Pascal running point out here.
I can see us getting absorbed.
Yeah. Big time. So shout out to all of the Hall of Fame inductees, all the finalists. Y'all meant so much to the game, of course. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but like we mentioned, all these guys pretty much played throughout our entire childhood. I think KG was drafted in 97?
96, 97?
97?
I think
97.
95.
95. I would say it was a
95.
year after
he
or
was a year
before
before
Kobe.
Kobe.
95, and then Kobe, of course.
96.
96.
Greatest draft class ever.
Tim Duncan was
Yeah,
drafted
that's right up
in
there.
98, 99, 90. Nah, because they won a chip.
97.
97.
97.
So like huge.
Wow,
K-
the
K-
mid 90s
K-
brought a lot
yeah,
of
KG
great.
They gave us a lot. bro.
KG and Tim battled.
They
KG
gave
and
us a
Tim
lot.
Jackson battled.
I said KG's probably the most talented power forward ever.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan's the best.
Yeah.
But KG could do it all on the court, man.
I just need Joel to get like KG spirit.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good luck with that
If
one.
he had, that's what he's missing.
He just needs the durability. I don't even care about
Yeah,
anything else.
You're right.
So shout out to them, of course. Next topic. Let me find it. Oh yeah. Golden State Warriors. I was probably, and this is probably a quick one. We get in on this and get out. But I was probably the one that had the most reservations about the D'Angelo Russell trade that sent him to Minnesota and sent, of course, Andrew Wiggins to Golden State. However, from sources, anonymous ones, of course, because they don't want to put their name on it, they saying they're having more fun with Andrew Wiggins being there as opposed to D'Angelo Russell. And that raised some eyebrows to me.
When has Wiggs ever been known as the fun guy?
I don't know.
He doesn't
but
stay.
it's
He doesn't stay after practice and get in the way of Steph and Clay shooting. That's what it is.
Hey, Wiggs been balling in Golden State so far. I can't even front. His activity level's been way higher. Like his defense has been way better.
once
Like,
again,
I think Minnesota just takes the life out of people.
I think it's they're raising some questions about
Great
what
point.
D'Angelo Russell was doing in Golden State, though.
Bro, what you think he was doing?
As
I don't
somebody,
know.
as somebody who's been a very big fan of D'Lo,
That's my guy.
like I love D'Lo's game. I could see like D'Lo's a guy who does like one, the spotlight, two, he likes being a star. He likes the time. He likes what comes with it. So I could definitely see how people, especially veterans in Golden State, Steve Kerr, they were kind of like, "Hey man, we need you to step up and be a leader here. We need you to fit into our system here. And D'Lo kind of just, I think he was trying, but at the end of the day, he's still 24 years old. Like, no Steph around, no Clay. You realize you're in a losing season.
Yeah.
I think D'Lo was kind of just living his life. You're in San Francisco. You're doing you. And I think the Warriors kind of were just like, all right, man, this isn't going to work long term. And then, like I said, as a basketball fit, I mean, you can see how that wouldn't last long term either. So,
Did Bron just try to throw a lob to Luka?
he did. I don't think he realized it was Luka. Honestly, don't.
Wow. But I just still wish Golden State would have waited. I think they could have got more than Wiggs. And we'll have to see how this unfolds. I don't think people understand, for the Warriors dynasty, for it to still continue, it is kind of riding on Wiggs' play. And if they bring in another big, because Steph and Clay, they are going to be what they are, but they're trying to go back to that 2015 formula. Those guys are going to produce at the level we know they are. But what made 2015 so great was the supporting cast. Sean Livingston, Iggy got the MVP. This is what? Didn't they have Barbosa on that team?
Yeah, Barbosa, Maurice Spades.
Most Spade.
Like, a lot of guys.
I think David was just that was
Yeah,
like his
that
last
was
year.
last year.
He
That's
came
his
late.
last
He
year.
He
came
came
with KD.
when KD got there.
Yeah,
but
you
like
talking about that original team?
that first team that won, was Verjao on that team?
No. That team, so
Bogut.
originally that bench mob
Bogut was on that
yeah,
team.
It was Bogut, Azili, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, Leonard Barbosa. That was like your core and Maurice Space. That was like
but
your core around it.
the bench was able to fill in so well. And like if they're trying to be banked on that means Harrison has to be Andrew has to be able to provide at a level like higher than Harrison did.
Right. I mean,
And if he doesn't,
But
this
he
isn't gonna
is.
work.
He is. He's
Okay.
better than Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. I
told you he's going to fall into. I'm better than Harrison Barnes. I'm not as good as KD.
He's gonna go from
That's literally Andrew Wiggins if I had to describe him.
he has the talent to do it. I want to see him step up in that position because he's gonna go from we're probably not gonna make the playoffs this year to dude we're trying to go to the finals.
Yeah.
That is a big job change.
right. And I'm definitely going to pay attention to the story because, once again, like, I am definitely curious about the nature of what was taking place in Golden State when D'Lo was there and how that could have flipped since Andrew's been there. And so what is Andrew Wiggins doing that's so, on the court and off the court? Of course, we're seeing that activity level being higher. Of course, we're seeing him being a little more, playing with a little more conviction than he has.
I mean, like I said, right now he's averaging almost 3 steals and 2 blocks,
Right.
which is unheard of for Andrew Wiggins. It was something I've blasted him for on a number of occasions because with that type of athleticism, that type of length, there's no way you should be getting less than a steal a game. So I think the biggest thing, especially on the court, that was a deep 3, Joel. I think the biggest thing for him on the court has simply been, unlike D'Lo, who very much is a pick and roll type ball handler, who wants the ball in his hands, who makes plays, like I said, at the top of the key, everybody kind of watching him.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins that's not his game. He's going to move without the ball. He's going to come off screens. He's going to come off pin downs. He's going to get backdoor cuts. And like I said, I've always been a big proponent of player movement over ball dominance. So, yeah, I think some players probably look at Andrew Wiggins like, D'Lo's averaging 23, Wiggins is averaging 23. But I'm not standing and watching Wiggins. Wiggins is just getting his where he can.
right.
What you're describing right now is just, I think the Warriors probably enjoy Wiggs more because they know going into the future he immediately fits better.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. 'Cause the whole thing about D'Lo being there, I think y'all know I'm super high on D'Lo, but in terms of the Warriors fit, like it would make sense to go get another athletic wing that can create his own shot and that can play without the ball, so he fits next to Steph and next to Clay.
Yeah.
So real quick, y'all don't, and I guess it's the kind of closing question. Y'all don't think there was any more personal issues that took place?
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't. Yeah, I would hope he's not.
And once
being
again,
a bad guy or nothing.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. But at the same time, people always love to bring up the history, and they want to kind of tag that along to what happened in L.A. Of course, we're well past.
He was 19.
Like, he was 19. I'm sorry. Yes, I blame D'Lo for what happened. It was a stupid thing to do. On the same token, I blame Nick Young almost just as much. You're bragging about your personal life at 30 years old to a 19-year-old.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I blame you just as much as the 19-year-old.
Swag on swag.
But but I do think there is a little bit of a personality difference there. Like, D'Lo is very much, he's a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Animated.
He's an animated, big personality. You put him in the locker room with Draymond, Steph, Clay. Like, Wiggs, like I said, we've all said, for good or bad, like, He doesn't really cause no waves. Doesn't really talk a lot.
Draymond, if he's not playing hard next year, Draymond will snap on him.
But that's the thing. Like with Wig, Draymond can snap on Wig, and Wig's not really gonna fight back.
Yeah,
like
Wiggs
D'Lo
could
would
just shut down though. Like let's not forget Jimmy did spaz because I'm sure Jimmy tried to snap on them a couple times to see if they would pick
And they
it up.
folded.
And I think the difference is in this situation, the supporting culture around this situation. So Jimmy is the oddball.
He came into Minnesota, while they were already there, and then he tried to enforce his culture on them, which they probably should have adopted, but whatever.
In turn,
facts.
If what you're saying happens, Andrew Wiggins will be the oddball in a very, very healthy, competitive culture.
But I don't think it will happen that way because, one, Draymond cannot talk to anybody any kind of way anymore. Like, after KD comes out and says, part of the reason I rocked was because of that.
I think he gets that.
I don't think he gets that green light to just talk to anybody any kind of way.
I mean,
anymore,
there's a difference between, like I said, the KD thing is like the extreme, like you went way too far and don't ever say, he should never say anything like that ever again. Nobody should.
But that's what I'm saying.
But Draymond has always snapped. Like Draymond was getting ready to fight Steve Kerr in the locker room one time.
And that's not okay.
I mean, I'm not saying it's okay, but
and
the
I think
Warriors
he's realizing a part of it, he has to take a step back. Like, yo, you didn't have your running mates this year. I don't care what you're about to say. You play like trash all year, Draymond. The whole KD situation, you snapping, blah, blah, blah. Your whole personality, you cost y'all a chip just because you couldn't keep your legs on the ground. Like, it's an issue there. It's a reason why he was up for a dumb super duper bag and he had to settle for like the regular max. Like the $100 million, which get your money. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like the regular max, like disown it, but I think he's starting to learn more so his place in it all.
No, I think if Draymond loses that, I think the Warriors take a definitive step back because he is that person for them. Like nobody else on that team carries that type of fire, that type of passion.
But it's a way you carry it. I'm not saying like he's not gonna speak up and speak his mind, but
that's who he is. Like that's like asking Westbrook to not be ornery. Like you are who you are. Your personality is your personality. Hey. So we're saying, yo, don't be yourself.
We're not saying don't be yourself. Don't be an extreme version of yourself.
But like
you can still have a certain level of restraint. Like that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have the green light.
Like I said,
to just say whatever.
Outside of the KD situation, and like I said, you could put the Steve Kerr situation.
But it was building up before KD even got there. Like we saw how it would come out on the court and blah blah blah. Like now it's like I haven't heard Draymond all year.
Well, once again, what is there to talk about? Your team is tanking. Like,
but that's whack. Like that's what I'm saying. You saying like, oh, he has to be him only when he's winning. Like, nah, because it's just like, bro, we've all been on the court with people.
If you go and look, like he's had moments this year where he's
we've all been on the court with people
and
they've been quiet the whole game, and as soon as they about to win, they want to start barking or like. Nah, like if you're gonna be you, be you from start to finish.
But I can pull up tape this year of Draymond snapping on people this year, talking trash to people in the stands.
And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say I don't care, and I'm gonna still say what I'm gonna say.
So it defeats
like
your point of like he's not talking this
It's a restraint. It's a dial back. I didn't say he had to change his whole personality and not say anything at all. I say he doesn't have the same green light.
I mean, what green light? Like I said, we all can agree the KD situation was like far beyond anybody in the league. But
even his on-court antics have taken a step back.
Like outside of the whole kicking thing, what other on-court antics?
That was a ring on the line.
That's a whole.
I mean, that's fair.
You just shutting stuff away. Like you can't do
that.
But
just like you said, D'Lo was 3 years. That was like 4 years ago, dude. Like at some point, like it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
since,
D'Lo
so
was 19. Draymond was like 26, 27 at the point. You're grown.
Like, it happened and it's over. Like it was 4 years ago.
So all right. So every time I make a mistake, I'm doing like, yo, 4-year time's up. That's just the.
I mean, just going off what you said with D'Lo, like it's the same thing. Like it happened 4 years ago, and he hasn't done it since.
It was two different scenarios.
All right. So we y'all this ain't going nowhere. What I'm hearing is Draymond Green, should keep the same energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
a different approach.
Well, not different. But you're saying you would even if he's gonna be himself, he should keep the same energy. Why is he not with that same energy right now? And this team is tanking.
That was the second point I was making. Yeah.
Okay. And you saying he needs to have a little more restraint.
That was first part. Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I think it's a semantic issue right here because he's saying, "Hey, don't be walking around calling people bees," essentially.
But everybody in the league does. Like that's what players in the league do. Like people just don't like Draymond because they feel like he shouldn't have that authority because he's not a scorer. Like I don't care if like Patrick Beverley does it all game too. Like what difference does it make?
Pat does it on every team he's ever been on in every scenario he's ever been in.
Like I can pull up film of Draymond doing it this year as well. Like Draymond does it.
Pat can make a jump shot.
Oh my! Pat can't guard 4 positions. He's not as good a passer as Draymond. Like Like I said, if shooting is the only thing that ever matters in the NBA,
Bruh,
then God
just
forbid,
a-
yes,
I
Pat
think
Beverly is
it's
better than
just I think
Draymond.
that's just more of an unwritten Hooper type thing. Why people treat Draymond that way.
Yeah, because everybody values scoring than everything else in the game.
I think he's just a dislikable person.
Yeah.
I say the same thing about Pat Bev.
That's true. I don't like Pat Bev.
Pat Bev knows he's a role player though.
Draymond knows he's a role player.
No, he don't.
Yes, he does.
I know.
Yes, he does.
If he did, he wouldn't talk to KD like that.
Huh? What do you mean? Did he say anything technically false?
He said we won.
We won without you, and we'll win. And he said we'll win again without you.
But he
That's what
wasn't.
he said.
He didn't lose and then call.
Yeah,
KD.
what-
I mean,
But when
but
did
what-
you-
but
but
did
in
they win
context,
without him?
when did
Did
you
they
call
win
me
without him?
though?
Is that not a
Like,
factual
what?
statement?
But
Did they
when
win
did you
without
call
him?
me? When
They
did you
won
call
without
me?
him, did
When
they
did you
not?
call me though, bro? When
Huh?
did you call me?
You
When
said
y'all
what?
lost.
Okay, but did they win without him, or did
I
they
don't wanna
not?
hear anything.
Like, is
I
that
don't
not
wanna
a
hear
factual
anything after that.
statement?
That's why.
They won without him.
That's why.
Draymond,
But they
when-
won without him.
That's
If
why.
I'm Kevin, I'm like, bro, you called me crying. Dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
that's fair.
I
Once
don't wanna hear
again, I'm saying
anything.
both
You got
can be
your jersey
right.
on in the parking
Both
lot.
can be right. Draymond said a factual statement. We won without you. Fact. KD can be like, you called me after y'all lost. Fact. Both are right. There can be arguments where both people are right. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know if your mouth causes you and your team to lose the best player in the world. There's certain things you need to change about yourself.
Like, once again,
That's why I'ma leave that.
I think KD was already planning his exit, so I don't think that caused him. I think that was like the ceiling factor, but I think KD was already like plotting his escape. So, and I think that's the real reason Draymond went off on him. Like, in all honesty, I think that's why Draymond took it to that level. He looked at KD like, yo, dude, we've given you anything and everything you could possibly ask for, and you're still about to walk out on us. Lump you. Was it right? No, I wouldn't do it, but it is what it is.
All right. Last thing, we getting out of here, man. Boston Celtics versus the Los Angeles
That was a
Lakers.
great game.
Very good game. Very,
Double
very
OT.
good game. Double OT. Everyone showed up. Maybe.
Nah, not everybody.
Paul George did suffer an injury, a little scare.
Another one.
Yeah.
I'm still not certain on how severe it is.
It doesn't sound severe. It sounds like something that had been going in the week. I watched the Philly game as well. He looked a step slow.
Yeah.
So it was just something because he played the whole first half, but Doc, I think, had told one of the reporters basically like the hammy is not allowing him to be 100. So it's like, bro, you're a worser. That's not even a word. You're a worse version of yourself with this injury than you are. So if you didn't, so you might as well not be on the floor.
I guess one of the things that I kind of wanted to bring up, I think it was a week ago, or maybe two, we were talking about Jaylen Brown and how he possibly is better than Jayson Tatum.
Yeah. Doesn't sound so good today.
That comment didn't age well. Guys, I think we're in a situation where we're looking at two players that could very well have the same ceiling, and they might be each other's downfall. Like, they might be holding each other back.
The thing is, and I hate that about the league.
Hold on. Why can't they be
Yeah,
Kawhi
I
and
was
Paul
just-
George?
I was about to say, why can't they do it together?
Like,
They
But
help each other so much.
But here's the difference with that.
There
Kawhi did it in San Antonio and
Yeah.
became the star in San Antonio. PG became a star
and then they
in
collaborated.
Indiana, and
Exactly.
then they came together.
I think
in these developmental stages.
the reference I always make is James wouldn't have been James if he stayed in OKC. Like, a lot of people, the way history's going to look back at it, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't OKC win a chip? And it's like, because KD was KD. Well, he wasn't KD, but he was still KD. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Russ wasn't Russ. James wasn't James. Or that finals could have been a whole lot different.
yeah, they choked.
But
They were young.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They weren't the same players they are. So with Jayson and Jaylen, the way I look at it is they might just be holding each other back just because they need. And I hate to say, like, go get your own mob to explore your bag, but like that's a lot of times the way that these guys get better is when you're the number one option.
When you get the keys.
you get the keys.
I think it'll be interesting what Boston does with Gordon Hayward this summer.
That's really hard to move.
I don't think so.
He's on a max.
He's producing. He's playing well. Like I said, an expiring
It's
max
go-
contract.
it's-
You can
yeah.
get
Oh yeah, this is like he had like what 2 more years left.
got, like,
on it?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's a player option though.
yeah.
You
So
know
it's
Which
gonna
you'll probably pick up.
You know,
It's, you know. So it's going to be interesting what they do because I feel like you can move him maybe for an interior piece that you need. You still got Marcus Smart, who's playing the best potentially offensive basketball I've ever seen him play in his career.
He got paid.
Yeah,
Shout out Marcus.
yeah. But I think by moving Gordon, that puts a statement on who our big three is. And I think that's at the same time, a big enough stage for Jaylen and Jayson, because I think they would be great together.
And once again, I never want to see guys split up. Like,
And that's the
I
perfect.
personally don't want to see.
Those are the
Philly
perfect two to
split
put
up.
next to a small guard like Kimba. Two big 6'7", 6'8" guys.
Right,
That
and-
can do all the scoring and defending need be.
Right. I'm a huge fan of both of them, but sometimes it's like we did it. We was like Jaylen Brown's better, and then Jayson Tatum does this. I mean, dropped 39, 9 rebounds, played clutch at the end of the game. Like,
He was giving
Great.
anybody that guard.
Yeah, he was
exactly,
scoring.
just
He was
give him
hitting.
work.
Everybody and their mom got a bucket from
Yeah.
him.
Like, balled out. So like in those moments, it's like, yo, he's better than Jaylen. But then Jaylen will come back and do something else.
What you do is
So
you
it's
give.
crazy.
Well, first off, I still think you give Kimba the last shot. But if
They did.
it's between
missed
those two, you give Jayson the last shot. But you need their names are the same. I'm tripping
Jayson
over.
and
them.
Jaylen,
Yeah,
yeah.
you need Jaylen though throughout the game to defend, because we know
Right.
the effort that Jason's going to give on the defensive end. That's why Jaylen is so important.
I mean, like I said, I don't think their games. Like I said, I think their games could work. Like you realize Jason's the better. I've said from jump, Jason's probably the better scorer of the two. He has the bigger
Hands
bag.
down.
I think Jalen probably does more things on the court. I think he's a better defender.
He's a better defender, hands down.
Like I think he's.
He
like I said,
plays a little
playmaking,
harder.
He plays a little bit harder. I think playmaking is
playmaking's
about even. I would say.
But he guards 4 positions.
Like
it's wild. I think it's wild seeing them both develop at the same rate,
I think
and then
that's the thing that's
they're
shocking.
definitely doing this flip thing.
And like I said, I think it could be something similar to a Kawhi, Paul George. Like I said, not to say they'll be
Homegrown
this
though.
good.
Homegrown though.
If they're
But
able to keep
Jordan,
them together,
Pippen,
yeah.
not to say they'll be that good. But
Homegrown.
Jordan, Pippen,
I get what you're saying.
like they could help each other grow. Like if Jayson, like it's almost like I just had somebody on the tip of my tongue. Like having KD and Andre Iguodala at the same time. Granted, this is a bad example, but just saying like having Andre Iguodala saying, KD, you don't got to guard the best player. That's Jaylen's job for Jayson. Jayson, all you got to do is worry about getting 34 this night. Jaylen, go get the best player, shut him down, and then maybe your night to get 25 will be tomorrow. Like it's just that's a good problem to have, if anything else. Like I would rather have that scenario than trying to get rid of one of them.
True. Yeah, I'm just asking questions, boys. So once again, it's another thing where I don't want to see them split. I don't
think Danny Ainge plans
think
on
he-
doing
no,
that anyways.
Not at this point. Not after seeing what he's seeing from both. Oh,
Like even in, like he didn't even give up Jayson for AD. Like I think he's like
Yeah.
sold on keeping him.
yeah.
This is not. It's the perfect. They have the perfect 1-2-3 with Kimba being a small guard. Like those two dudes are.
They just need a big. They
Perfect.
need a capable
Yeah.
big. If they had somebody like Steven Adams, or if they were able to get Clint Capella when he was on the market.
Or how they got Andre Drummond when he was up on the market. I'm trying to think who else could they go after.
I don't know.
I'm nobody at this point.
Would it be redundant if they went and got a K-Love in the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
be.
It doesn't solve their problem, which
Yeah.
is they need a rim
Like
protector.
you get more talented, but
Like I say, it
Definitely
would
doesn't answer any questions.
at all. It doesn't solve any of their issues.
Okay, so Kawhi Leonard. A lot of people are saying he kind of came up small. Marcus Smart guarded him for around 30 minutes. I think he went 2 for 13 in that time span.
Jayson Tatum did a good job on him too.
Yeah. Of course, it didn't help with the effect of Paul George being down. He wasn't there in the late game, so we still haven't seen.
Jaylen Brown didn't play. Let's call it even.
Okay. So
they were both missing guys. Pat Bev, PG were out. Jaylen Brown, both teams missing guys.
So I'm just asking this question because this is what we do. LeBron James plays like that late in the game. The media is about to crucify. Kawhi does this, and he's going to get away scot-free, essentially.
yeah.
I wouldn't say scot-free because people been. You saw it. You replied to me on Twitter. Me replying to Shannon Sharp. So no, people have not been letting him go
that's Shay Sharp,
scot-free.
and
He's
he's a
not the
LeBron
only outlet.
addict,
You know,
bro.
Fox, they talk about the same thing. So he done had 3-4 shows torch him already for it.
It's just Fox. Stop.
And
It
I'm
wasn't
Like-
shame on ESPN.
The level that LeBron we criticize
Of
for is nowhere
course.
near the level
but
Kawhi got
LeBron,
criticized.
but okay,
here's the-
LeBron
here's
has
the
been doing
thing.
this for years.
Doing
But
what?
here's the thing. If LeBron is supposedly not the best player anymore, and that's Kawhi, he has to inherit all of it. and he's not right now. He's not inheriting the criticism that comes along with
because
the greatest
you
player.
know what the biggest thing is?
The
I think
world
difference-
hasn't given Kawhi that thing. I'm saying it. I think Tamana's. I don't know if Tamana said
Like a
it.
lot of people said.
A lot of people, but the mass has not truly given it to Kawhi yet. Therefore, I feel like
Even
that's
if
why
you're
he
in that
doesn't.
conversation, even if in that conversation when it was LeBron and Kobe, they both were getting a lot of flack for when poor shots selection, coming up short in clutch moments.
the biggest thing
the
is,
1 and
though-
2s were always being pitted against Kawhi. I mean, Giannis. We still always talk about if you wall him up, he ain't gonna do nothing. Like we hear that when Kawhi doesn't show up, we don't hear. It's crickets out here.
I'm trying to tell y'all why. It's because Kawhi is like the poster boy for we're just here for the playoffs. So when he has a bad game, that's the sentiment behind it. We saw he just went on a
So it's a
crazy
get out of
run
jail
in the
free
playoffs.
card.
It's
It's
and I'm
not
not saying I'm not blaming him personally, but I'm just saying like, and it's not like a necessarily get out of jail free card. So because some people give him flack, but it's just more so the masses and the public. We're waiting to see him have a bad playoff game.
Yeah, that's what it like. And the thing is, the whole concept of not showing up. He did not show up for one.
I mean,
he didn't hit shots. No, he did not hit shots.
He not hit shots late, of course. He had
He
28.
didn't show up.
He had
No,
28.
it's not-
In the fourth quarter and
11.
overtime, that man did
Did
not
you
show
watch
up.
the game?
I watched every minute of it.
So did he not show up, or did he see that Lou had the hot hand and he let his man go?
He shot a couple shots. He airballed that one.
He missed. I said he didn't hit shots.
He was 2 for 9.
He had, so 2 for 9. So for the fact you're getting 9 shot attempts in the fourth, that means you just weren't shooting.
You just weren't hitting.
There's
9
guys-
shots in the
shots?
fourth quarter
That
is
means-
not
you're
shooting.
You're not hitting. You're not hitting shots.
hitting.
My bad.
So you didn't
You're
show
shooting.
up.
No, there's not. There's not hitting shots and there's not showing up. What
I'ma show you
LeBron
an
James
example.
did in 2011 is not showing up. So you might not know what the difference is.
No, I've always criticized LeBron
and
for
not
that.
hitting shots.
Nah, Kawhi
There's
didn't
some
hit
days
To
shots.
me,
you don't
LeBron-
hit shots.
Like I said,
There's days
I'm
it's
not
getting to a spot.
So here's where I think you're wrong. Okay, because showing up does not
Do guys not
shooting
hit shots?
shooting non-shots. Okay, so what did just James Harden do in the playoffs? Does he not show up, or is he?
He doesn't shoot. There's times where he doesn't
When
shoot.
KD
Kevin
went
Durant
off the
sat down.
floor-
He shot 3 times. That's
So-
not
That's not
showing
showing
up.
up.
when
That's a choke to me.
But when
That's
I,
not showing up,
but
though.
when I
Now we're just arguing about what vocabulary we're gonna use.
No,
Yeah.
I mean I can consider that not
But
showing up
here's
a
the-
choke.
What
here's
LeBron
the-
did is not showing up. When dudes just decide, I'm not even gonna try. That's not even attempting.
but,
Kawhi
okay.
attempted. He didn't make it.
like it's about results, bro.
Bro, so
you're
he
the
didn't
main
hit. I
one
said
about
that.
this. You're the main one about this.
He
It's about
didn't
results.
hit.
If
Like,
I'm taking 9 shots and I made 2,
And he didn't
I didn't
hit.
show up.
Like,
I
hit-
didn't
like,
show
I
up to
didn't-
do
I
my
didn't
job.
hit.
Here's my point. Like I said, we're kind of arguing what it means to show up here,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
Like,
what
my
Ramone's
thing.
doing.
The reason I'm saying he didn't show up in this game is simply because, once again, missing shots is one thing. I've always said, like, sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't. You're playing bad.
It's a
whatever the
make
case
or
may be.
miss league.
It's a make or miss league. Like, but what I've always said, to me, choking, not showing up, is when you don't look like yourself. When he started airballing, when he started getting taken off the dribble easily, I'm
He
like,
definitely did, yeah.
you
It
not you
wasn't-
tonight, bruh.
It wasn't his night. It wasn't. Mind you, like I said, on the offensive end, like one reason he didn't get a chance to like maybe hit a big shot to redeem that was because Lou was cooking. So he did definitely down the stretch. He stood in the corner and let Lou get it. Because that is part
but
of
that
the
kinda
luxury of the Clippers, though.
But that's kind of the point, like going back to this whole thing, like if you're going to say he's the best player in the world and compare him to LeBron James. Like LeBron James, if Danny Green had hit the game-winning shot for the Lakers, everybody be like, why didn't LeBron shoot it? Why didn't he take the shot? Was he scared to do it? He didn't want to do it.
I think
Like-
part of the media also on the same token, some of the like criticism that Bron has gotten at times has been unfair.
Of course, of course. We all agree
so
on this.
dumb and so over the top, being like critical one bad night. Oh my God, this that. Because
And-
there are nights where dudes just miss shots. Like I said,
Yeah.
there's a difference between not showing up, which is not even attempting, and then dude, you just didn't hit. Because tomorrow, because those same shots he hit on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Right. And once again, I think it's unfair that they're not treating him as unfairly as they treat LeBron.
I think that's unfair that we treat these stars unfair.
True.
I think that's the
agree on that.
I'm a big
We
proponent of
agree
you
on
can
that.
never
that's
take
the
somebody
biggest
for
topic.
one
We
game.
For one,
agree with
we
that.
bash. There's so many nights where we're, excuse me. There's so many mornings for bashing Bron about a night where he just didn't hit and why who the Lakers got to trade and this and that and this and that. And we're not giving love to some team like Miami. We're not giving love to another team that's actually deserving. We're not giving love to the fact that Toronto has won 15 games
Because it's
And-
storylines. The
and
storylines
that's
are
so
what,
whack.
it's whack. It's whack.
It's whack, and that's one reason why maybe like people talk about NBA viewership and like people paying attention to the league. Like, we're not giving all of our stars. People want to talk about big, small markets. So, like, we're not even talking about everybody.
The media coverage of those small
other stars.
Right, and I agree 100% with that.
Denver
but I'm just talking about
Denver is the 2 seed right now.
Right, and I'm just talking about the actual nature of the media and the way they covered guys.
It is whack
thus
all
far.
around. It's whack all around. We have football guys talk Shannon Sharp, and the thing was Shannon. What he was saying is like, dog, you're a professional athlete. Like, you should know, bro. If I pull up your stats, there are some days where I'm sure you just didn't have a good stat day, but I'm sure you probably followed it up with a good game.
So, like
the way he was just bashing like Kawhi, like, oh, it must have been a load management day, da 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 da. And I'm a retweet.
Can we not say Kawhi didn't bring that on himself? When you put on this facade of the only thing I care about is the playoffs, I mean, that rubs people the wrong way.
I mean, yeah, but I can see.
You gotta take the criticism that comes
does.
with that.
And he definitely does. For one, he doesn't hear any of it. But he's been said it even last year in Toronto, like, yo, all this is practice for the regular season. Because for one, if you watch that game as well, bro, like, the Clippers have even more meshing to do now that they have Marcus Morris. There's times where in that Boston game and that Philly game where you could easily tell he didn't know where to be out there offensively. That's going to mess up the spacing. One thing also was showed this past week, Pat Beverly not being there, bro. He's not the typical playmaker from the standpoint of put him in a high ball screen at the point guard spot. He'll make something happen. But what he does do, he brings it up quick, he passes it, he cuts, he gets the ball at least popping.
He gets the team into the offense.
When Lou is in there, I'll say this: you got to take the good with the bad. He hit a whole lot of shots this past week, but when he wasn't hitting, the ball stuck. And then guys didn't get a touch for it. There were stretches where we need to be getting Marcus Morris incorporated because he's going to start. But the thing is, he actually...
Is he?
Yeah, Marcus Morris is going to start. From the day one he showed up against, I think, Cleveland, he started.
So you think they're going to start him over Landry Shamet?
It'll be interesting.
I'm sorry.
But I think...
So what, move PG to the 4? I mean, to the 2?
It would be like...
This is a weird lineup.
It would be Pat. It would probably be Pat.
PG, Kawhi,
Marcus, Morris, Zubac. Yeah, and bring Shaman off the bench. I think they...
lineup.
Yeah. Even this week with Pat being out, they
they started him. Like I said, they started Landry, Marcus, PG, Kawhi, and Zubac.
But I think
that's an interesting lineup.
They're definitely because they made the trade for Mo Harkless, who was a guy that was starting, so it would make sense. But like Marcus has been shooting the leather off the rock this year, so he could be very, very dangerous because like he's added so much to his game. Like he's actually you can put him in ball screens now, let him operate.
Hey. I'm just going to go back to what you said because you said if the Lakers are traded for somebody at the deadline, it'd be too late to incorporate them.
I think because 2 different systems. It's one thing to incorporate into what the Clippers are trying to do. They're trying to be like an actual great team. It's another thing to incorporate into a Bron-type system.
I mean,
show up and immediately start hitting shots.
I think it's easier to be incorporated into a Bron system than it is.
I would say that too. Like in LeBron system, you just got to stand here and
guy,
wait.
And it's just one guy. I think when I made that statement, it was in reference to if they did the typical big wave Bron trade.
No, we were talking about Kuzma and Bogdanovic.
But I think definitely that trade. But when I made that statement in regards to if they make a trade, they're not going to win. That was in reference to if they make a big, like when he did the Cleveland sweep. That's what I meant. A 1-for-1, no, that may not have hurt them that much. Because I told Taman, I was like, yo, talk to Brooklyn about Kuz for Spencer. Like, see if they would listen. Of course, they probably wouldn't, but like
that contract wouldn't match.
It wouldn't, but I wouldn't have been mad about them making a trade if they needed to. Like, that was the reason why the Clippers got him because they didn't want LA to get him. Because Marcus Morris would help LA right now.
Yeah,
that would actually give.
The reason they got him is because the Lakers couldn't match the price
right now. Being honest,
the Lakers couldn't match the price. Knicks wanted Kuzma and Danny Green because once again, Kuzma's contract is so small, you have to pair him with somebody.
Yeah,
right.
So just a bad matchup. Like I said. The Clippers' issue still is the same issue I've said they're going to have all season. You're incorporating all these players. You still have not been healthy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in light switch teams that have never won anything.
Fair enough.
There's one person on this team that has won.
Fair enough.
Everybody else has never been there. So I don't believe in light switch teams.
That sounds like Toronto. Last year.
They had more veterans.
There's a lot of veterans on the team.
I mean, PG did battle.
Like
Bron
who?
in the
Outside of Paul, who on this team? Outside of PG and Kawhi, who has been deep in the playoffs on this team?
Lou and Pat
Lou has never really been deep in the playoffs.
Lou's been on the playoffs in the Eastern
He's
Conference.
been on the playoffs. He's never been deep in the playoffs.
Not to a conference finals, but he's been in the first and second. Pat's been in the first and second.
Nobody has been deep in the playoffs.
Pat was supposed to be in the conference finals, but he got hurt. He
What's
was
it
supposed to be
supposed to
guarding
be?
Steph.
Like,
What's
supposed to
Houston?
be?
So he at least
Mister, it's
but
all about
what is it
results.
supposed
Mister,
to
it's
be?
all
so
about
he has
results.
playoff experience, though.
I mean, I'm not saying he don't,
But
but
you
like,
said supposed to be. That it didn't happen.
it
But he
did.
has playoff experience. I'm just saying, no, not
I said deep in the
conference
playoffs.
finals.
I just said deep in the playoffs. Who on this team outside of Paul George and Kawhi have been deep in the
we're-
playoffs?
are we-
Paul George, we say, is choked every time he's been in the playoffs for the last couple of years, and Kawhi. Had great playoffs run and
It's
been
two
great
two finals
and has 2
MVPs,
rings.
2 finals.
Congratulations.
Yeah, call him 2 rings.
Outside of that,
That's all I want to hear.
like outside
2 rings.
2
rings.
But
2 rings.
at the end of the day, he still hobbled around the playoffs on one leg.
2 rings.
Like
2 rings.
you're banking on
2
2
rings.
guys who can't
2 rings.
battle injuries
2
their
rings.
whole career. Hey, you can say what
2
you want.
rings.
Shut up.
2 rings. 2 rings.
You're banking on a team of guys who can't stay healthy and haven't been
Nah,
there.
it's definitely gonna be about can they stay healthy. I think this team. I wouldn't be shocked if the organization knows like they play a brand of basketball where these guys are playing hard. They're gonna be more prone to injuries. I think they're letting certain dudes take games off so that they can be fresh. They're only here for April through June. Yes, it is rolling the dice. It's being a student. What they are is the college student who maybe he didn't do so great on that
the
first
finals.
exam. Maybe he didn't do too great. Maybe you did all right on the third. You're in a position where it's like, all right, we're going to cram it in and we're going to roll the dice on that final for this grade. That's what the Clippers are doing right now. So we're going to see how they study for this final exam.
All right.
I'm gonna say something like I said, I'm gonna leave it at this. Like I said, do I think the Clippers are obviously a contender for the title? I do think the more I watch them, the more I'm starting to realize they're a bad matchup for the Lakers, but I think there are worse matchups for them, if that makes any sense. Like I think they match up better with the Lakers than almost anybody in the league.
Yeah, I can see
But
what
I think
you're
there are
saying.
teams in the West and there are teams in the East who match up really well with them and could give them problems.
I told Taman last week, and I've been telling to other people, I really see a scenario, regardless of who comes out the West, Milwaukee just winning it. And I ain't going to lie to you, now that if Philly keeps Al Horford coming off the bench and that clicks.
Chris Paul just dunked.
What?
Looked like he just caught an alley.
Oh, snap.
Hey, man, they all wearing too, bro. Hold on, man. We got to go back to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, if Philly can have Al Horford being cool with coming off the bench and like that unit comes along, like I see a scenario where each team could win it again this year. Yeah. But like I think once all the Clippers, when it meshes, I think it'll be something special. But that's definitely a lot of ifs with them. So
yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on them. And like I said, that whole thing was more so just me being observant in terms of what we see out of Kawhi and what the media thinks of Kawhi and how they move around him and how they moved around LeBron. So once again, I agree with everything Leak said about the media. I think it is pretty whack. There's a lot of
we all agree on that.
There's a lot of good storylines around the league that hasn't got the amount of attention. I don't think Miami got enough attention
at all.
We've talked about the Pacers a bunch. I don't think the Pacers got enough attention.
Denver has.
Denver hasn't got enough attention, and what they're doing.
Toronto has.
They're gonna be the 2 seed.
Like shout out.
The conference finals will be Milwaukee and Toronto again. Like, can we stand? Like, that's not crazy.
I mean, I don't know if it will. Like I said, Philly could still beat Milwaukee if things play out. But man, just shout out to Toronto.
So you're saying Giannis loses in the second round? He's so out.
It's possible.
He's so out if that happens. Like trade watching.
I mean, we all picked Philly to go to the finals.
Yeah, we did. That's crazy. So here are the games coming back off All-Star break, and we can get up out of here. So only big games that first Thursday, Brooklyn, Philly. Teams are gonna have to there's no more games to waste now.
Sure.
Of course not.
Sure.
So
I think Philly's sitting
everybody's sitting about
5th seed right now.
30,
if you're trying to play,
my fault, Philly. I thought you said Brooklyn. Philly's at 5.
Yeah. If you're trying
one game back.
If you're trying to make the playoffs, there's no time to waste. So Brooklyn, Philly, Memphis, they got to keep where they're at. They play Sacramento.
I think they fall out, but that's me.
I don't think Portland's catching them.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're 4 out. That would be interesting.
Like New Orleans is still projected to get that 8 seed. That's crazy.
That Friday night, you got Nuggets and Thunder, Pelicans, Portland. Seeing if Dame can get a spark going.
He's hurt. He's not playing.
Oh, Dame's not going to be out?
He's out for 2 weeks.
Oh, dang. You think that's it for Portland?
That might be.
That's why I said I don't think they're catching him.
Dang, Dame went so hard, he popped his groin.
Be like that.
Yeah.
Trying to get your team to the 8th seed. Sounds real familiar.
Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. That Saturday, you got Philly and Milwaukee. in Milwaukee on a Saturday night, so that'll be good. You also got Houston and Utah that night. Sunday, you got Boston, LA. You got
That'd be a good game.
No, that's right. And then you got Indiana, Toronto.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good. We're gonna blink and it's gonna be the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm ready for it.
We are ready for it. Shout out to everyone who's been watching the pod throughout the entire season. We appreciate it, bro. And sis, if girls are watching, my bad. I don't want to offend. Girls love hoops too. My apologies. So shout out to all y'all, man. We appreciate it. We coming up on the playoffs. This is probably going to be where we have the most fun because now we're getting into the nitty gritty of things, and every game matters. There's no more excuses. No one can say, "All right, this is practice." No one can say,
I love the
like,
playoffs. This is what I'm here for. This is what I am here for.
So
The playoffs.
So this is it. This is it. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go enjoy the rest of this All-Star game. Brian, where can we find you, bro?
Man, you know, y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at only1beecham. I'm easy to find because I'm the only one out there.
Leak.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Leek. That's KoachLeek.
TK.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at King Comments of Mine. I am not conceited. King is just my last name.
And you can find the pod. Find me on Instagram at OneGreggy. Find me on Twitter at Greggy Chillin'. You can find the pod on Instagram at Hoops Minor Pod. On Twitter at Minor Hoops. Of course, show love to our guy Dunkman Keith. On Twitter and Instagram, LinkedIn.
Bebo, the
Bebo.
MySpace.
We talked about Bebo.
Yeah,
MySpace. Am I missing one? I'm pretty sure you got a WhatsApp.
You still on that Pillsbury joint, right?
Wow.
You know the joint where you can create your the cereal box stop joint.
That joint.
I think yours is still up and
I
running.
play little side games. Oh man. Shout out to everyone who's watched the pod. I know I said that once already, but we really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share with another hoop head, man. We love all of the support. If you liked it, for the people who leave comments, thank you for leaving comments. Anyone who hasn't, what's wrong with you? Comment. We want to talk to y'all. We want to talk about what we're talking about. We like to talk about the game. We appreciate that. So shout us out. Show us love. Add us. We don't even care.
Let me tell you why Kawhi is going to get another
at
Finals
Leak and
MVP.
tell him that he needs to get on Kawhi about playing so poorly in the fourth quarter. Like we appreciate that type of stuff.
Ooh, D-Book just chipped a layup.
Oh, he killed a putback while he was talking. He missed it.
Okay,
Like that joint was filled. So yeah. I think we're done here, man. We're done here.
Yeah, let's get out of there.
Yeah, special shout out. I missed a shout out a couple weeks ago. Special shout out to the homie Randy. Literally, like, he'll walk into work, AirPods in, like, yo, what is Brian talking about? I'm not lying, dog. Every Monday when I'm working at the gym, he'll walk in like, I don't know about this one, man. Brian was on some, or when you were on your Kuzma stuff, he would be like, yo, why is Leak not getting it? But big shout out to the homie Randy. I want to give a special shout out to just all the hoopers out there. I know I usually do it like individual ones, but this is the all-star break, so I'm going to take a break from individuals and include everybody. So everybody who's ever picked up and dribbled, we appreciate you. You help push the game forward, whether it was in your backyard, whether it was at the park, whether you touched D3, D2, D1, whether you made a league, any of that. So shout out to all y'all.
As I always say, eat, sleep, breathe the game. We love you. We out.
So what?